Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the 502 Lounge. It's me, Marcus, right here with my guy Amir, and man, a lot has happened since the last time we were together, bro.
Oh boy, where do we begin?
Louisville, unfortunately, in the ACC championship, in a stinker kind of game, man, 16-6, taking a loss to Florida State, and it just. Oh man, I'm still proud that we made it to the ACC championship. That Louisville made it to the ACC championship, but it's not the fact that we lost; it's the way that we lost.
See, I don't know if I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna agree there, because obviously I agree with the part where you said, I'm happy we made it. Mm-hmm. But that game was just. It reminded me of a football version of Louisville versus Virginia.
Yes.
It's so defensive, and, obviously Florida State not having both of their, their Rodemaker or Travis, that hurts them a lot, of course. Absolutely. And Jack, being Jack, also hurts us.
I agree there to an extent, though, bro. Here's the thing, man. It was a defensive battle, but I think this game was just offensive incompetence on both sides. You know what I mean? I knew Florida State was going to have its troubles with Rodemaker being out and that, them playing a third-string freshman quarterback. But I just did not expect Louisville offensively to just look. I mean, Louisville just looked unprepared the entire game. It looked like Louisville was like a deer in headlights.
And honestly, more than third string, even that fourth string quarterback coming in, that really just
Brock Glenn. Yeah, he only threw for 55 yards.
He ran for that big run that one play.
I don't think that was the quarterback. That was the running back, bro. You talking about when they scored a touchdown?
No, I'm talking about before that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, bro, the defense had to stay on the field as long as they had to stay on the field. It was inevitable that he was going to get a big playoff. You know what I mean? When your offense isn't doing anything, I mean, bro, we went to the half with no points. It's 3-0 at halftime. You know what I'm saying? The defense continuously having to, bend but not. I mean, actually, we didn't even bend. I mean, defense they held it down for us. Most of the game. It just finally
they just got tired, man.
There's only so much you can do at that point, bro. And it just statistically it was an ugly game for the Cards offensively. I mean, defensively it was their best. It was probably their best game of the season defensively, but offensively, man, only 188 total yards of offense. Plummer going 14 for 36, only 111 yards passing for the entire game. Jaws 14 carries, 52 yards. Louisville just could not get it going offensively in any kind of way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was expected Florida State to struggle a bit offensively, right? So, I mean, I was expecting that, but I don't want to give our defense too much credit either. If this was Florida State with Jordan Travis, it could have been uglier.
It could have gotten worse.
It could have been definitely uglier. Absolutely. And but with that being said, Florida State's defense has also been
it's their strength.
Insane, especially after Travis's injury. I mean, bro, their defense has been.
Florida State's defense hasn't given up 30 points. Hasn't given up any more than 29 in the entire season. That's a masterclass right there. I mean, their defense. How do you feel about Florida State getting snubbed out of the playoffs? How did you feel? Because I'll be real, man. After that game, I saw it coming.
I saw
it coming. I just was like, especially, you want to know when I knew that Florida State was going to get snubbed? When Georgia lost to Alabama. Yeah. That's when I knew. When I was sitting here, I was watching that game unfold, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, damn. Because at first, waking up Saturday morning, I was feeling good. I was like, you know what, man? It's a win-win situation for Louisville. Because here's what I was thinking. I was thinking, all right, if we win, we're automatically in the Orange Bowl. We lose, we're still probably going to make it to the Orange Bowl because Florida State will probably get in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the other hardest part about losing losing not last Saturday but the Saturday before in the ACC championship is that it not only, you know what I'm saying, it's not only the way that we lost, it's the fact that it kept Louisville out of the Orange Bowl. And I just knew after that game ended Saturday night that Louisville was not going to make it to the Orange Bowl. I knew that shot our chances completely.
Yeah, Florida State just not making it is. We talked about this, and we knew that they're probably going to get hosed. I mean, and I can't blame the committee either. It's hard.
It's tricky, man. Because like, I'll say this, I was like thinking this in my head when we left Buffalo Wild Wings. Which, man, I told you. Why?
Yeah, that one's on me.
That Amir and I have gone to Buffalo Wild Wings for a U of L game. We've lost. So if y'all want to send him
every
some
game
hate mail, I can relay his house, his address for y'all. I told him not to do it. I was like, dude, this is the last game that we should be going to this place. I did not tell you, bro.
Hey, man. I'm a Louisville fan. I like taking L's, all right?
This guy. But
I mean, haven't you seen the basketball season? We love taking L's.
We'll get to that. But when I was on my way home, I was just thinking about it, about the field, and I was just thinking to myself, I was like, man, look, from my perspective, Florida State, okay, yeah, Florida State's 13-0, they're undefeated, right? And like, I was like, there's no way the committee's going to leave out a 13-0 undefeated Power 5 team, right? But I was thinking, look, from an entertainment perspective, Alabama deserved to get in. Alabama and Michigan is going to be, and Texas and Washington are going to be far better games than what it was originally going to be, man. Because I'm sorry, Florida State, they would have gotten Rodemaker back, but I just think that watching them offensively was painful. It was pretty painful to watch. I mean, any outsider fan watching that ACC championship game was thinking probably this is like one of the worst games I've ever seen.
And here's the thing about the Alabama and Georgia game. I feel bad for Georgia fans. I really do.
Why so, man?
Just being number one the whole season, basically. Being basically the best team out there.
The two-time defending champs.
And just one loss just ends everything.
Ends your whole entire season. What's crazy, I mean, it's happened before. I mean, 2 years ago, Alabama beat Georgia in the SEC championship, but Georgia still got in. But the one common denominator of it all was that there were so many one-loss teams. You know what I'm saying? In the top seven, that like it was just going to be impossible for Georgia to make it. Because I'm thinking to myself, one, you can't keep an undefeated Texas. I mean, not undefeated. You can't keep a one-loss Big 12 champion Texas out of the SEC. I mean, out of the college football playoff, right? And then you can't leave a one-loss Alabama SEC champion team out of the playoff either. So that's that. You know what I'm saying? That's where I thought it was going to be very very tricky for the committee, quite frankly.
Another thing I wanted to bring up is I want to know your opinion on this.
Yeah, man.
Given Florida State's injuries, I also would think it's unfair to even pick Florida State up over Georgia.
Okay, well here.
Given how they have been the whole season.
Yeah.
And that loss came that night, right?
No, you're right. You're right.
If I'm looking at Florida State and Georgia, I'm picking Georgia as the better team.
I mean, logically, I mean, Georgia is a better team than Florida State. However, though, I'm sorry, but Georgia lost to Alabama in the championship. And here's the thing. Their resumes are very similar. Georgia, how much am I saying, man? Georgia's best win of the season came against Ole Miss. Who have they beaten worth a damn? I'm just saying, you can't leave an undefeated FSU team. FSU's done everything right. FSU beat the Heisman Trophy winner by 3 touchdowns. FSU wins the ACC championship. Georgia's best win, they had one major ranked win all season. They barely scraped by Missouri. I'm sorry, man. I feel for Georgia. Georgia is like still one of the best teams in the country, but it's like that you lost the SEC championship. I'm sorry. That's how it works.
But at the same time, Florida State got their wins with Jordan Travis.
I mean, yeah.
Of the big wins. Towards the end.
I mean, but to the extent Jordan Travis ain't the whole entire team, though.
Of course not.
Jordan, you know what I'm saying? Florida State's defense was stout all year. Still has stout playmakers all around. I felt like in that case, Florida State still deserves to get in. Georgia lost. I'm sorry. And the thing is, I like Georgia. However, I'm just keeping it real. You lost to Alabama. And you don't deserve to get in if you lose over an undefeated team, even if they have their quarterback out.
But realistically, if you think they both played, who wins?
I mean, well, I'll be honest. They are going to play each other in the Orange Bowl. Georgia,
I'm not bringing that game up, but yeah.
Oh man, that's going to be illegal. It's not going to happen in the Orange Bowl. I'm sorry, Florida State. It's going to get ugly for you, but still though, man. An undefeated Power 5 champion out of the playoffs, I just don't. I mean, okay, if we're debating FSU and Georgia, you have to put FSU in. Even if it's the unpopular thing to do, it's just like one, it's the Power 5 champion. You know what I mean? And the thing is like if this was Alabama that this happened to, they would still find a way to get Bama in the SEC in the conference champ.
Of course.
It's by. I mean, dude, and I think that's the one thing that really sucks about that happening is that I think that just killed the ACC. I really do, man.
Yeah, that I think that's a bigger picture here.
Because here's the thing: the committee didn't say that FSU missed out because of their strength of schedule. But however, other people are going to run away with that. They're going to be like, "We'll see," because FSU has been. I mean, it's been no secret that Florida State has been trying to get out of the ACC, and that just gave them, a million pounds of ammo to, amplify that that move. And that's what sucks for the rest of the conference, including Louisville. You know what I mean? Let's be real. If Florida State leaves, I mean that weakens the conference in football significantly. But going back to the game though, man, just recapping it, frustrating offensive performance for Louisville. Louisville only didn't even get 200 yards of offense. But man, the one play that stuck out the most to me, that I'm still shocked that that Brom didn't try to challenge, was that throw to Nate Kariski in the end zone. You remember, right after Louisville blocked the punt, and we had the ball inside the 10. Jack on I think either first or second play of that drive throws a beautiful ball to Nate Kariski, and it looked like he came down with it, but then it kind of comes out at the end. It looked like a touchdown to me.
Well, it came out once his body had contact with the ground.
Yes.
Right? It was the ground that caused most of the impact.
And the thing is, from what it appears, he had the ball in sole possession, literally all the way
until he touches the ground.
And the play was all but over at that point, and then the ball kind of wiggles out at the end. However, I kind of understand why Brom didn't challenge it, because here's the thing: when something like that happens, usually the person who thinks they caught it tries to sell it. Be like, "Oh my God, see!" They raise their hands to the ref. They're like, "Hey man, see, I scored."
Right.
The thing is Kariski just got back up and he just looked dejected, like he let the team down or something. And so I guess from Brom's perspective, or what I'm saying, he was probably like, well, if he's not selling it, if he's making it, what I'm saying, if he looks like he knows he dropped it or something, then there's no point in doing it. But it just, man, I would, if it was me, I would have looked back into it.
I would have that. According to me, I think that's a touchdown.
Because dude, at that point, what do you have to lose? A timeout? You know what I mean? if you challenge that, and okay, it probably, even if it doesn't get reversed, right, you can at least say you tried. It just didn't sit right with me because I mean that game. I mean, obviously with the the points being at a premium. I mean, only 22 combined points between both teams. Every play matters, and that play right there. I'm being real. If Louisville would have scored a touchdown on that drop, I think Louisville wins that game because Florida State would have had to. They would have been frantic. Would have been trying to force things in the air, and their quarterback, that Brock Glenn dude was not going to throw the ball on.
No.
He had 55 yards passing. He was going to be a deer in headlights. They're going to be trying to force stuff. Our defense was hungry. They were smelling blood. You know what I'm saying? And you probably get a turnover off of that. You know what I mean? But now, you know what I mean? You don't challenge that, and the following play, man. Third down, Plummer throws a pick.
Man, you know something? I heard, Tom Drexler was hiring right now. I'm just saying, Plummer.
From Jack Plummer to Jack Plumber. Jack Plummer.
It won't be a big difference for him. I'm sure it'll come easy.
I'm telling you, dude. Like, I feel bad for what I'm about to say because I mean, bro, Plummer was still a decent and solid transition quarterback for us going into this transition. But man, he had his worst game at the worst time possible.
I don't know if it's his worst game.
No, dude, that was.
I'm still sticking with Pitt being his worst game.
I mean,
but worst game as in that matters, I guess.
Statistically, 14 for 36 passing, only 111 yards passing, and an interception.
Man, because
that's pretty bad, man.
Because that Pitt game, it felt like Plummer was looking like Hartman over here.
In a sense, like I mean, yeah, that was his worst game, but like Plummer was still making good plays in that game. It's once he starts trying to do too much, that's what got him in trouble. This game though, it was his worst game. Like, I mean, the dude looked like a deer in headlights, bro. He wouldn't release the ball, bro. There were numerous times where receivers were wide open. They had broken away from the coverage,
especially tight ends.
Yes, and Plummer just couldn't. He just did not want to release the ball.
It's almost like he locks onto Thrash or Bell.
Yep.
But most of the time, I always see tight ends open. Kariski and Gatewood, they're open.
But I mean, I think a lot of that also has to do with Florida State's defense.
Sure.
Just as much because Florida State. I mean, think about that play early on in the game. It was 4th and 2. We were around the 50-yard line. We do that play action rollout, and you know how Plummer usually does that fake.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't do the fake. He had Josh Lipson like wide open, right? He doesn't do the fake. He throws it. It gets batted right down by Jermaine Johnson.
Yep. State. I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'll dump on him because it was his worst game. There was no excuse for him to be as bad as he was. However, Florida State's defense is legit. But man, I think the biggest question that I have is just like, man, at that point, here's the thing: you're in the ACC championship. Your starting quarterback literally looks like a deer in headlights. He looks just like frightened. You know what I mean? Why not try something else? Why not maybe I mean, look at what Florida State. All it took was one play by Florida State, 2 plays by Florida State to give them the momentum the rest of the game. Think about it, man. Brock Glenn also looked frightened. Right, he couldn't throw to save his life. Then third quarter, they put Lawrence Toafili, Florida State running back, in the Wildcat. He takes it about 60 yards,
something like that. Yeah,
60 yards down to like the 1-yard line, and they punch it in for a touchdown. I mean, why didn't we try something out of the box? Why are we continuing to try to throw against this aggressive Florida State defense? That's where I kind of started to question Braum, at least.
I just feel that's true because I don't know if Braum doesn't trust Plummer enough also.
Yeah.
That's one of the things there.
He had to downsize the playbook.
Yeah, so I don't know if I want to put this whole thing on or any of it on Braum yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, at times his play calling has been questionable.
I mean, to an extent,
and that's because of
Plummer. And the thing is, Plummer. How do I explain it, man? Plummer's he's okay for where Louisville wants to be. He's not the guy that's going to take you there, right? Plummer is a serviceable quarterback. I mean, he's probably a decent starter at some other Power 5 school, like a Minnesota or something like that, or a Cal. I mean, look at Cal. You know what I'm saying? But for where Louisville was trying to go, for what Louisville could have achieved this season, he just wasn't going to be the guy to take us there. And that's, with all due respect, what I'm saying? He couldn't make those deep throws consistently. He wasn't a quarterback who was going to thread the needle. You know what I'm saying? Like a Teddy Bridgewater or a Lamar. You know what I'm saying? He can, make those easy kind of passes. You know what I'm saying? Just he would have been a good backup is what I'm saying. A really good backup for us. But starter-wise, for what Louisville really could have achieved this season, man, it wasn't going to work out.
The way I look at Plummer is a good, a transition quarterback.
Yeah.
For just Braum to get a start in Louisville. And that's what he was, right?
That's what he was. He, because he knew the system.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He knew the offense, and I mean, it seemed right. And I mean,
for the most part, it worked out.
Oh, it did.
I mean, we went to the ACC championship game. 10 games first year with Braum. So it worked. I mean, we're thankful.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course. But at the same time, you get a little bit better quarterback. That's a whole different story.
Dude, I'm gonna be the first to say it here. You probably said it to yourself. Malik Cunningham's on that team, but we're 13. We're talking about the playoff.
We're talking about playoff.
We're like, you know what, man? Louisville against Alabama or Louisville against Michigan in the playoff. I mean, because every single loss that every loss this year that Louisville's taken, Jack Plummer had something to do with it.
Definitely.
Let's be real.
Definitely.
Pittsburgh, those 3 turnovers.
Yep.
Because he's trying to do too much. Kentucky, that fumble. Trying to do too much. Run out of bounds. Take your ass out of bounds. Why are you trying to act like you're, like you're Lamar or something, bro? Just throw the ball. Either throw the ball away or run out of bounds or just slide. You know what I'm saying? Because you do that, we punt the ball back to Kentucky. They have to drive the field. Now they're inside the 20-yard line and they punch it in for a touchdown, and that changed the game. Florida State tonight, he just didn't want to throw the ball. He looked frantic. It just, at the worst times, man, when we need him the most, he let us down. And I hate to say that. I hate to say that about a player, especially a guy who won us 10 games. But it's just being real here, man. It's just me being real.
It's just you realizing that we could have achieved more.
I know this is an ACC championship recap, but God, that Kentucky game still haunts me, bro.
You're not gonna get over that until next year.
I still think about.
That.
I still think about it, bro. Louisville should have won that game. I'm gonna be sick about that game for the rest of
until we play again.
Until we meet again, I'm just gonna be sick about it because Louisville had the game. Louisville had that game. I mean, even in the ACC championship, Louisville had the game. It just sucks, bro, because, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, yeah, we weren't expected to be there. You know what I'm saying? Louisville started the season off unranked, right? And we weren't even supposed to be here. I mean, I knew this team could do something special, and Louisville still did do special things this year. But it's just, looking back at our losses, it's not like Louisville lost to teams because they were just the other team was better. Okay, except Florida State. Florida State's just a better team. Florida State just has better athletes. Let's be real. Our dudes, our players, Braum is building something, but we still, in terms of talent, FSU has the edge on us. But Pitt and Kentucky, man, no. Those are games that Louisville literally gave away on a silver platter, bro.
especially Pitt.
Oh, I know, man.
But
It happens, bro. That's football, but it's the way that it happened, and it's the way that it happened with the Florida State game. It's just those mistakes, man. Those mistakes that got you beat. Your defense played great, played lights out. Special teams, blocking that punt, getting you inside the 10. You know what I'm saying? I thought when that happened, I looked at you, bro. I was like, let's go, boy.
That gave everyone hope with the horrible looking offense.
I was like,
that just gave us everything we needed. I was like,
bro, it's now or never now because you know what I'm saying? Offense had been pretty much, immobilized all game, right? Couldn't really move the ball that well. Now you're inside the 10. All you need is 10 yards to get into the end zone. And you couldn't do it, man. And not only couldn't you do it, you threw an interception. Because, here's my thing. I still wouldn't have been as happy about it, but if Louisville would have still been able to get 3 out of that drive and only been down 10-9, you know what I'm saying? You still have a chance to get the ball back and kick a field goal. But now, you know what I'm saying? That interception, that was it right there, bro. That's when I knew.
That's when we knew.
I was like, we're not winning this game. There's no way in hell.
And of course, I think we told each other, we're like, man, ACC is trying to do everything to get Florida State in.
FSU in that playoff, man. I mean, dude, look at what happened the next day. Look at what happened with how frantic the conference was, trying to figure out the bowl situation. Because apparently, here's the thing, you remember that Selection Sunday when after they announced the playoff, because here's the thing. Okay, how am I trying to explain it? You remember we were waiting to see which bowl game Louisville was going to, right? Which Louisville will be going to the Holiday Bowl. They will be facing USC December 27th in San Diego. A Caleb Williams-less USC team. But when we were waiting to see who, Louisville, what bowl game Louisville was going to go to, right? You remember just, I don't know if it might just be me, but the college football, media members were tweeting out that this team will play an ACC team on this date. And I was thinking to myself, why are they not naming what team it is? You want to know why? Because ACC didn't have a contingency plan to, in the case that Florida State didn't make the playoff. They just figured, okay, well, FSU's in the playoff, which means Louisville's in the Orange Bowl, which means this team's in this bowl. It was a mess.
All right, so with FSU not making it, threw everything off.
But the point is that ACC was going to do everything imaginable. You know what I'm saying? There was no plan B. Their chips were all in on Florida. I'm not trying to blame the refs here.
No,
I'm not trying to blame, but let's be real, man. ACC was doing everything in their power to make sure that Florida State got into that playoff.
Especially with that interception, touchdown, whatever.
I know, man. I know. But, and then some of the questionable penalties, especially on the second drive of the game where it led to FSU getting a field goal out of it. I mean, man, because the defense, I know that you weren't trying to give the defense too much credit, but I'm going to still give them credit, bro.
Of course.
Here's the thing, because the defense has struggled against backup quarterbacks this year. Think about it, man. Louisville against Virginia, struggled. Louisville against Pitt, struggled. You know what I mean? And for Louisville defensively to just clamp down that FSU, and FSU, here's the thing, even with the third string quarterback, it's not like FSU had slouches in other positions. They still had Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman, probably two of the better receivers in the country, probably the best receiver duo in the country outside of Washington. You know what I'm saying? And for the defense to play the way it did, we did what we could do.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you go back to Kentucky, 2 play touchdowns. Isn't speaking much.
It's not speaking much, but still though, man.
Again, I'm not trying to take away from what our defense has been doing, but I'm also kind of questioning the teams we have played also.
But at the same time, bro, you gotta think about the way that it happened, right? the defense, okay, and they did give that that 2-play drive, right? But think about the plays that got Kentucky back in that game. Kick return, 2 fumbles. You know what I'm saying? 2 fumbles that put Kentucky right in prime field position. You know what I'm saying? The defense had played solid. The defense has been the strength all year. But eventually they're going to wear down when your offense isn't doing anything. And think about it.
And that it's coming back to Plummer again. It's like when your offense is clicking, your defense will be right there.
Bro, think about it. The Pitt game. The reason Louisville lost that game was not because of the defense. They lost the game because the offense turned the ball over. Kentucky. Louisville didn't lose that game because the defense played bad.
I don't completely agree there. Bro, although it's mainly on offense. I'm talking Kentucky game.
Special teams and offensive turnovers gave Kentucky 17 points.
True.
You know what I mean?
At the end of the game, Kentucky game, when we tied the game up.
Yeah.
With what?
There was like two
less than 2
minutes.
It was like
2:48 left.
Something like that.
Yeah, 2:50 left in the game.
And they just score.
It was a 3-play.
Like 3 plays.
Yeah. I get
after basically struggling, we somehow get the game tied again because of our offense being whatever. We're tied.
Yeah.
And just like that, it's gone.
Yeah, I mean it was that was rough, but still, like I said, man. Here's the thing: it all leads back
to Plummer,
to the common denominator, to the offense not being able to hold its part consistently. You know what I mean? That it all leads back to that. I'm not saying the offense all season has to have 0 turnovers and no mistakes like that. I mean that happens. That's part of the game. But it happened too many times, and that's what came back to bite Louisville in the butt. You know, and I mean the only game that I'll say this year that the defense just looked completely just lost in was that Miami game. Miami was probably the worst game defensively for Louisville all season.
Yeah, true.
I mean, that game that was the worst one. 'Cause, I mean, every game, even in the losses, the defense was still doing what it could do. It's just you can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't just make those mistakes and give other teams. You know what I'm saying? That
first, they're also going through injuries as well. Is it Brownlee?
Yeah,
he was back. He was back, but I don't think he was like 100%. He wasn't the same. And yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, man. But, I mean, just looking back at the season, though, it was still a phenomenal year. You know what I'm saying? I know how much. Oh my. Oh God, what is going on? Okay.
All right, I don't know. Technical difficulties.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're good.
We got it figured out, but okay.
We're good.
We're good. We're good. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But I mean, just looking back at the season, though, man, 10-3. If you would have told me back in July that Louisville would win 10 regular season games and go to the ACC championship, sign me up for it. I know that it sucks the way that the season ended. I mean, not only did you lose to Kentucky, but you not only did you lose to Kentucky in heartbreaking fashion, but you lost to Florida State in an ugly game in the ACC championship. It's definitely a bitter pill to swallow. However, looking back at this, bro, this was a successful season, man.
If you zoom out, you'll actually see that the season was a great season.
Oh yeah.
The last few games, it is whatever. It is what it is. It happens.
Bro. It happens.
You got to remember, it's still his first season here.
It's his first season, bro. He basically put together a patchwork team. Think about it, man. Brought in all those transfers, revamped the offense. I mean, dude, the entire offense essentially was brand new.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We had to replace Malik Cunningham. We had to replace, a bunch of receivers. You know what I'm saying? Jamari Thrash and Kevin Coleman weren't here last year. Jaden Thompson, Jimmy Callaway. Those guys weren't here last year. You know what I'm saying? Defensively, I mean, we kept most guys, but it was really the offense. I mean, had to basically start over. It's still, you know what I'm saying? It's still a testament to do what he did with all the changes that we had to make, man. So it's just, looking back at it, I mean, and plus I will say, I mean, Louisville did get we had a lenient schedule. However, at the same time, you can only play who you play.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The whole Louisville had an easy schedule, but okay, Louisville beat Notre Dame. Louisville beat NC State on the road. Louisville won at Miami. You know what I mean? Like, Louisville still had good wins.
And partly, I think a lot of people are upset with this season mainly because of that Kentucky loss.
Oh, yeah.
That's like a big dent.
Yeah, it probably tainted the season for a lot of people. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie, when the game ended on November 25th, I looked at you, man, and I was like, man, I don't even care what happens in Charlotte next week, brother. I wanted to die. I wanted to die when that game ended, bro. It was painful. It like losing a rivalry game is like equivalent to losing a national championship.
No, it's worse than that. I'm sorry.
It evokes the same feelings as losing a national championship.
Only thing that can be worse than that is losing to a rival in the championship game.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing of But anyways, it sucks, but it is what it is. We'll only get better.
We'll be fine, man.
We'll be okay.
Just looking ahead, bro. Louisville has a lot to look forward to, man. Think about it. This is going to be the first offseason that Brom fully has where he, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be a transition offseason anymore. It's going to be an offseason where he has full time to install his system. You know what I'm saying? The returning players will have time to understand and learn the system more. Bro, we're in good hands.
Look, I don't want to get into all the transfers and everything right now, as far as who's coming in.
Yeah.
But, he's already getting to work.
In the portal, I mean, dude, we're bringing in, I mean, already, I mean, it hasn't been that many, but we've brought in some studs already. And I'm excited. I'm not going to really go into that, but I'm excited for the future, man.
Yep, absolutely.
If 10-3 is the, you know what I'm saying, in your first season, if that's the waters that we're treading in, then sign me up all day, man. Sign me up any day. I mean, think about it, bro. Think about when Satterfield got hired, bro. We were ecstatic to go 8-5.
But that's also because of how
the 2-10
previous season was.
I know. Think about it. When Chris Mack got here, we were ecstatic, and we were talking about basketball. When Chris Mack got here, he made the tournament that first year. Bro, we were ecstatic about that. You know what I'm saying? And we were a 7 seed that year. This first year under Jeff Brom, bro, Louisville not only overachieved, we exceeded expectations, man. Louisville went 10-3, 10-2 regular season. I hate that second one was the Kentucky. However, 10-2 regular season. You were on the brink of an Orange Bowl appearance or New Year's Six appearance. You went to the ACC championship for the first time in program history. No other coach could do that
in his first year,
in his first season. I mean, man, even in defeat, the future's bright, man. Because even then, even though we lost that game, being on a stage like what Louisville was in, the ACC for the ACC championship, that does a lot for recruiting because it shows the recruits, hey man, this guy's a winner. This guy has gotten to the conference championship. He knows what he's doing. You want to know something wild, bro? Jeff Brom is the first coach ever to send two different schools to a conference championship in back-to-back years.
That's true.
Purdue last year he went to the Big Ten championship. This year Louisville in the ACC championship. Dude, the future's bright, and I know that the last 2 weeks of the season, we're bitter to swallow Card Nation, but hear me when I say this: we are in great shape. The future is bright, and we have nothing to worry about.
In Brom we trust.
But
here, let's move on. Do you want to get into the transfers that are leaving?
I mean,
or at least just bring it up. Or
it's
up to you.
Lost a few guys. I mean, Popeye Williams, who, that is a bit of a tough loss to take. He was a 4-star coming out of high school from Indianapolis area. He ended up leaving. Derek Edwards, who was supposed to be, an up-and-comer guy defensively, he just was never really able to see the field because, the transfer portal, the thing is, like, the portal, is changing a lot now. I mean, it's kind of rare for guys to stay around and develop. You know what I mean? Because now with the portal, you can just instantly go out and get new guys. I mean, and then really the only other two, major pieces that left were, Josh Minkins, the Louisville native, who, played corner and safety. He transferred out. And then Cameron Wilson, who was a defensive lineman who, was actually pretty good, man. Had a few sacks, was able to get pressure. He was in that defensive rotation on the line, but I hate to see him go. But in this day of the portal, you just never know. You never know the reasoning why people decide to enter. So best of luck to all these guys. Hate to see y'all go, but hey, I wish y'all nothing but the best in y'all's next journey.
And I think we just got news that Jaws is...
Jahar Jordan has declared for the NFL draft.
Which was expected. That's not shocking.
I was hoping with we could just go into some of the additions already. I mean, his high school quarterback Tyler Shuck also coming to Louisville. He played at Texas Tech. Had a pretty decent career, just injury ridden. I was thinking with Tyler Shuck coming back that we would be able to get Jaws back, but you know what, man? I kind of understand, bro. Jaws is 24 years old.
Yeah, there's
in the NFL, man. Running backs. I mean, once you turn about 27, 28 in the NFL as a running back, man, you're basically equivalent to like an 80-year-old man. So it was time for him to go, and I wish Jaws the best, man. He did what he could do, and go get that bread, man. Go get that bread.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man. I think that's gonna do it.
That's gonna do it. So we are gonna have a preview for the bowl game coming probably next week or so.
Yeah, next week.
But right now, I think that's gonna do it for this.
That'll do it, man. So just. Once again, unfortunately, the Cards couldn't get it done in the ACC championship, 16-6. But I know it's hard to swallow, Card Nation, but just remember.
But just know that we were there.
We weren't even supposed to be in this spot. So, hey, future's bright. Keep our heads up, and we will see y'all for the Holiday Bowl preview.
Go Cards!
Now take it easy, man. Go Cards.